In this video, I want to share with you 5 reasons why you should not buy the drop front boxes from the Container Store. If you're in the market to consider buying these boxes or just looking for a new way to display your sneakers, I want to share with you my experience with these boxes and give you a list of 5 reasons why you should not buy these boxes from the Container Store. Before I get into this list, consider liking and subscribing to my channel. My goal is to make videos that are really helpful and informative, and every other Friday I'll be doing an episode of Fashion Tip Fridays where I talk fashion tips, hacks, and things of that sort. Alright, let's get into the list. The number 1 reason why you should not buy these boxes is that the lids are not durable and they can easily break. So just a quick overview of the product. It comes with the box and the lid. 2 separate pieces, and there's no assembly required. It's very straightforward and it's very easy. The lid, however, gives me problems, and here's why. So obviously when you stack a box like these pretty high, you have more mass and more weight on the bottom boxes. The open-close mechanism on the lids is just a little plastic clip that you push down and you pull so that you open the drop front box. So especially when trying to access the bottom boxes, you want to be careful, because if you push too hard on the clip, you can easily break or snap the clip off. The way that I have to adapt to this problem is that I have to find a way to slightly offload the weight off that specific box so that it's easier to pull the clip down and open without being too forceful or rough, and without breaking the clip. So I've actually unfortunately already broken 2 of these lids. And again, that's the downside. It's just not that durable, and it can be easy if you're reckless or if you just push too hard on it. And just to add to the downside of this problem, you can buy a replacement lid on the website, but it costs a whole $1.50. So buying and replacing these lids over and over can definitely add up. Reason number 2 is that the stacking feature on these boxes is not very strong. So moving into my apartment was a really big pain. Carrying these boxes, especially a high stack of them, can be very challenging, and it's pretty much a balancing act. You would think that the manufacturers of these boxes engineered the box in a way to make the stacking component nice and sturdy, but this wasn't the case. So you can see that the top of the boxes have a nice little groove for the other box to sit flush on top of one another, but the groove was just a little too shallow to the point where the boxes are still able to topple and slide and things like that. And especially for me, one of the biggest challenges was carrying a big stack of these up and down stairs. Again, it's just a balancing act, and it's not very sturdy, and it doesn't feel very easy. In fact, it's quite the challenge. So unless you're training for a circus or something, expect to do several rounds back and forth. You can't be carrying 8 to 10 of these stacked on top of one another. Otherwise, you're gonna be dropping these boxes and causing damage. Reason number 3 is that you cannot display high top sneakers upright. So if you have some high top sneakers in your collection that you want to display, just know that they might not fit standing upright. This is a pet peeve of mine for aesthetic reasons. I have a combination of both low and high top sneakers that I want to display, but with the high top sneakers, the only way for them to fit in these boxes is if you lay them sideways. And with that being said, to me it just throws off the aesthetic of the display, and it just doesn't look as flattering. That's just my opinion though. Reason number 4 is that with more storage comes with more maintenance and more problems. Now you have areas to worry about, areas collecting dust, cobwebs, and with these lids you gotta maintain the fingerprints. Again, with all of these boxes, now you have to worry more about the crevices and gaps where cobwebs and little bugs can kind of hide out. I recommend that if you do collect and store all these boxes, that you do that in a nice indoor and cool place. So obviously I wouldn't put these out in the garage or outdoors, where again it's susceptible to a lot of more environmental factors and bugs and things like that. And then of course, with these lids being transparent, they get dusty and they get fingerprints over time. So in order to maintain the display and the aesthetics of it, you want to wipe them down and just keep them clean. But again, it's just more work and more maintenance to worry about. And reason number 5 on why you should not buy these boxes is that if you plan on saving the shoe boxes that it already came with, then why invest more in more boxes? So I'm sure I speak for most of you when I say this, but the reasons why we keep the shoe box around is either because we just don't wear that shoe enough, or we have hopes to sell that shoe later down the road. So if this is the case for you, then you might as well just keep the shoe box and not worry about the drop front box. It's kind of funny that I say this because I contradict myself, As you can see here, I still have my shoe boxes, but it's inside the drop front box. Boxes in a box. Granted, it does allow a little more ease and accessibility if I'm trying to reach a stack from the bottom. I just flip open the lid and pull out the box instead of having to offload a huge stack of boxes off of it first to access the pair on the bottom of the stack. But otherwise, if you plan on wearing your sneakers permanently, you might as well throw away the shoe box and display it in the drop box, or just not even invest in the drop box. Basically just picking one or the other. So I know I just went through a list of 5 bad things about these boxes, but I actually still enjoy these boxes. There are definitely some upsides and some things I enjoy about them. There's some aspect of functionality, and the display aspect of it is cool. And I would say it does make my life easier in some ways in terms of especially accessing bottom pairs. But let me know what you think. If you have these boxes, do you have the same problems that I run through with these? Are there any alternatives that you guys can recommend? Because I'm sure there's a lot of different brands and a lot of different manufacturers that make different types of drop front boxes. But let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Fashion Tip Fridays. Again, every other Friday, I plan on releasing a video just talking fashion tips, hacks, and things of that sort. While you're here, consider watching my previous Fashion Tip Friday videos here and here. My goal for this channel is to create content that is helpful and informative in the realm of fashion and sneakers. So if you did find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more content just like this. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.